gracious me!
What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to the Road to Glory. Today's episode is going to be started off with 3 player pick packs, and then we're going to go into some gameplay. Then we'll come back for some more packs, and that may very well be the end of the episode. I have absolutely no idea. So, without any further ado, let's just crack these open. These are player pick packs that I've built from rewards yesterday. I do have a lot more rare golds left. I don't have any non-rares, so what I need to do is actually finish Nakata to get the, I think it's like a half 100k pack, and obviously there'll be a lot of non-rares in that, so I'll be able to do a few more from what we get there. So let's open this, see what we get. Great. As you can see, I already own all of these. Like, I have a lot of rare cards in my club. I'm going to pick the one that I don't have, obviously. Brazilian should be easy to get into a player pick pack. I'm not expecting anything great, but if I could get like an 85, 80, 84 plus from one of these two, I will be extremely happy because it'll go towards the 85 rated squad for Nakata. 83 rated Roy Patricio, not, I mean, all 4 of those Premier League players, 2 Everton players in the same one. An 83 isn't terrible, but an 84 plus would really help me out in the final one. Can we get an 84 plus? No. No, we can't. Probably going to go with Francis here. Francis Coquelin. The reason is just because it's easier to fit him into a player pick pack SBC. I do have a silver pack to open, which is so exciting. But I kind of need to do it so we can complete the... I only get 1 rare from it, though. Well, it's silver players I don't have. I have literally used every single silver player, apart from Peter Crouch, in upgrade packs. So that probably tells me that I'm going to be going Swedish League for that final part of the Nakata SBC. But, yeah, there we go. So without any further ado, let's get into the gameplay, and then we'll be back for some more packs at the end of the video. Before we get into that gameplay, this is the team that I was using yesterday. It's obviously got the, I would say, the basics down of my main squad. So we have the likes of Thiago Silva, Dani Alves, Fabinho, Gerrard in there from the main team, the starting 11. Jari Litmanen isn't a starter in the main team, so he is a player that I wanted to get in there for a bit of fun. Calvert-Lewin is a card that I really like in this game, so I wanted to get him in there as well. So he doesn't actually play Cam. I'll show you what we do when we get to it. Robbie Wilmot, I was really hoping that EA would release a new set of Man of the Match cards to sort of coincide with the 4th round of the FA Cup. Of course, Newport beating Middlesbrough, going through to play Manchester City. Massive achievement for them. Robbie Wilmot with the opening goal. I honestly thought that they would release them. They still might, of course. We still might get them today or tomorrow. Well, actually, no, you're seeing this on a Friday, so chances are, if we don't get them today, we probably won't get them, but fingers crossed we do. I have the red player pick Digne in there as well. He is, of course, a player that I actually quite like, but will never get used, so I thought I'd just chuck him in this team. I've got a Champions League Chris Smalling kicking his heels around the place. The only player that I had to buy was Areola. It cost me 1,200 coins. I only played 3 games of this team so far, but it's alright, actually. It's a bit of fun. I don't mind it at all. I'm using it. He's only scored 1 goal in 9 games, Peter Crouch. Wilmot has not scored any. He's hit the bar about 4 or 5 times. You'll see evidence of that when we go into the clips, and I'll start going through your comments. On the bench, we have Padraig Amond, who is, of course, the other Newport player who scored against Middlesbrough. And he is a little bit too bad to put into the team. You know, Wilmot's got a little bit about him. He's got a little bit of pace. He's got a 4-star weak foot. And, you know, his agility is pretty good, as well as his stamina being decent for a bronze player. Unfortunately, Padraig over here doesn't have the best stamina and only has 1 semi-green stat, and that's his jumping. Has a 3-star weak foot. I just don't want him anywhere near the team. I've got him on the bench. Maybe if I'm winning 3-4-0, I'll bring him on. But other than that, he probably will never see the light of day. Now, as far as other players are concerned, by the way, I did toy with the idea of getting like wingers in there. João Cancelo was a player that I wouldn't have minded fitting into the team because he doesn't play. He is essentially a wasted card for me right now because he doesn't come on. He doesn't even come on as a sub. So I literally never use him. I'm actually very tempted to put him into an SBC. I think I'll refrain from doing that for the time being. But I wouldn't rule it out further along down the line. I did try and get Balde Diao in there. Eder Militao was another player that I tried to fit in, but it just wouldn't work with the players I wanted to use. Like Calvert-Lewin, Crouch and Wilmot were the three sort of mainstay players I wanted to get in there. And I just couldn't get it to work properly without sacrificing one of the major three. So that's the team that I was using 2 nights ago in Rivals, and that's the gameplay you're about to go and see. I have been playing with a different formation. I actually set up 4 different formations for this sort of, not experiment, but I think what I'm going to do from now on is I'll play Weekend League, and I'll play however many games I need to play. But when it comes to Rivals, I think I'm going to play this team, this or some variation of it. We do have a red Joshua King to go in there now as well, so he will fit onto the bench, I'm sure. And over time, who knows, I may actually replace Robbie Wilmot, who will drop to the bench. Littmanen will go as the cam. We'll have to get the Burnley Peter Crouch when EA decide to release that, and then we can play Joshua King up front with Peter Crouch. I've been toying with 2 striker formations. There's only one non-striker formation in there. That's my go-to formation anyway, the 4-2-3-1. That is what I was doing. Well, I didn't actually use this once. The reason that's there is just in case I couldn't get on with the other formations, I needed to go back to what I was using always, if that makes sense. I would have just switched back to the sort of defensive style, and we'd go into this, which would have been Fabinho and Gerrard as my CDMs. Littmanen would have played left side, Calvert-Lewin right side, Crouch up front, Wilmot as the cam. But thankfully, I stumbled upon this. We've used this before. 5-2-2. This formation is pretty sexy, to say the least. I'm liking 2 strikers up front. It didn't really work that well because Wilmot isn't a winger. Jari Littmanen isn't a winger. I use those 2 cams more or less as wingers. They do come in, and they do help out in the midfield a little bit, but primarily I like to try and get them around the outside. So I didn't lose. I didn't lose 1 game out of the 3. I think I drew 1. Another guy disconnected because I absolutely smashed him. And then the other game ended in us winning, of course. But you'll get to see evidence of that in the gameplay in just a second. But the problems that I was having there was Wilmot just wasn't good enough, and obviously that's fine. Crouch I didn't have a problem with. I think he scored 1 goal, maybe. But he was involved. He did his fair share. Calvert-Lewin was incredible. Scored so many goals for me. And then Jari Littmanen was decent, but he wasn't quite up to the task of playing in that position. So, if I'm tempted to try out this formation with my main team and to use players like, for instance, we'd have Ronaldo here. We'd have... What I would do is probably I'd have to play Best here, Rivaldo here, or opposite sides, and then Ibra and Ronaldo up front with Fabinho and Gerrard as the CDMs. But that's what I was doing. And instruction-wise, stay central on both of the strikers, that's it. The cams were on get in the box for the cross, and that's it. And then it's the usual stuff. Stay back while attacking. Dani Alves was on overlap, not stay back while attacking, as well as Digne. I was toying with that. It was alright. I think if going forward, though, if I was to use it on my main team, I probably would just stick to stay back while attacking. It was nice to have the option, but we were getting caught out at the back a little bit. I was lucky, unfortunate that we weren't playing against better people. My defence was holding fairly well. I'll tell you what, Areola surprised me as well. He made a couple of great saves. But that was the team. And that's the formation. The 5 at the back, I haven't used it enough. I've got a funny feeling, though. 5 at the back. Not 5-2-2-1. The 5-1-2-1... 5-1-2-1-2, is it? No, that doesn't make any sense. What was the formation? Is it 5-1-2-1? No, that can't be right either. Just read it, mate. 5-2-1-2. Jesus. Maths is difficult. So yeah, the 5-2-1-2 is an interesting formation. I actually really want to use this. So we've got Fabinho dropping into a centre-back position, although in sort of more of an advanced centre-back. Chris Smalling and Thiago Silva are the actual centre-backs. And then I had Digne on join the attack and overlap. Same for Dani Alves. So what would happen is, on defence, we'd go into a 5 at the back formation. We're on drop deep, or drop back, sorry, 2 bars for depth. So it drops right back into the penalty area almost, or on the edge of, and then we can control Gerrard and Jari Littmanen. Crouch is just to stay central, same with Calvert-Lewin. If I can select Wilmot, he's on free roam and get in the box for the cross. And then Gerrard is on stay back while attacking, but Jari Littmanen, oh, he's also on stay back, never mind, I was going to say he wasn't, but he is. So what would happen there is, when we don't have the ball, we go into a 5 at the back formation, we control Gerrard or Litmanen, and we try and break up the play, nick the ball. As soon as we get the ball, Dani Alves and Digne are gone, and they are acting like wingers. Then we go into a 3 at the back formation. It's basically how teams play these days, but I've tried to replicate it in FIFA. I haven't used it enough because I've got a funny feeling we will be without the ball in this formation a lot, and I don't like to do it. I'm playing really well at the moment, and it's because I keep the ball very, very well, and I'm proud of that. I've sort of learned how to pass a little bit better. I'm trying to use the broken mechanics to my advantage, and I've tried to learn how to use it better. But that is a formation I would like to try out for sure. The 4-1-2-1-2 just doesn't work. There are far too many gaps all over the pitch. I've used the narrower version because I was using the wide one, and I just didn't have... It was just far too wide. The narrow one is a little bit better, but I can't get on with it. It's just... It leaves too many open spaces for my defenders to have to cover, and it just doesn't work for me personally. But I tell you what, I am very much liking the 4-2-2-2. The 4-2-3-1 is still decent, but 2 strikers is definitely what I like doing right now. And then of course that 5 at the back formation is going to be, I think, will be pretty good, especially if we're under a lot of pressure. We can soak it up and then maybe even counter-attack, which is what people hate these days. But without any further ado, let's get into the gameplay. And into the gameplay we go. This episode has been recorded across 2 different days. It is all over the place. I have no idea what's going on. I think it probably seemed quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Structured up until this point. But EA have thrown a spanner in the works through the power of flashback SBCs with Fernando Torres. I've said to myself, I don't know if I've mentioned it in any Road to Glory episode, but I've always said to myself that if they release a flashback Torres and the stamina is better than 70, which it is, it's 75, then I think I may have to do it. And that card looks phenomenal. Extremely good pace. He has... what else does he have? He's got very good strength, 90 strength, and he's very good in the air, and he's 6'1". So despite the fact that he's only got 3-star skills, and the balance is absolutely atrocious, I still think I want to do it. Problematic because A, we don't have enough coins, B, I kind of wanted to complete Nakata, and C, well, there is no C because A and B were so dramatic. This is the a few games that I played on Wednesday night. Not to make sure that we finish rank 2, because we were going to finish there anyway. In fact, it got us quite close to finishing rank 1. I would have needed to win maybe 3 or 4 more games to get rank 1, which would have been a few extra 15Ks. So nothing really too crazy. I wasn't that bothered by it. But it was just to play with a fun team, really. You know, we've got a bit of Robbie Wilmot down this side. Look at that ball in from Wilmot, by the way. That's a great ball, but no one was there to meet it. Grey Ghost from yesterday's episode said, this again proves that EA does stuff to the pack weight, because during promos the pack weight seems to tank. Yeah, I normally I don't think I would agree with you. Yeah, that guy quit, which was very strange, but he did. Anyway, yeah, I would agree. I mean, you know, when there's no promo on, we pack Ronaldo, Dybala, and everything else for days. And then when there is a promo on, we open so many packs. I didn't get one walkout. I went on my main account and I got rank 1 rewards. Not one walkout. I'd actually had quite a few packs stored on there as well. I have a few pre-order packs, so I think I had 4 15Ks and then rank 1 rewards on top of that. I don't play Foot Champs on there, so we don't have them. But I had a few SBCs that I did. And I think I had a 45k pack, a rare Electrum. I did marquee matchups on there. So I had quite a few packs to open. Not one walkout again. I got absolutely shafted on that account, just as bad as this one. Really frustrating stuff. I don't really... I mean, maybe sometimes we should just wait to open packs when there's not a promo on, just to see. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see whether EA decide to release a new promo today. Very confusing as I'm filming this Thursday evening, and I keep saying today, and I'm thinking, nope, mate, there's no promo. They've already said it. That was a great bit of football, and Calvert-Lewin has missed an absolute sitter. But I tell you what, though, he does pop up with a lot of goals for me. He does really well in this game, and I think indeed in the next game. He does so well. Peter Crouch has been struggling. Robbie Wilmot, as you would imagine, has been struggling. But I tell you what, I had a lot of fun because I didn't have... Okay, fair enough. I've got a couple of icons in my team. I've got a really solid... Well, for the most part, I've got half a solid defence. You know, Flashback Alves and Thiago Silva, Footmas card and things. But even though I've got those cards in my team, I have a bronze card. I have a silver card. I feel like I have an inferior team, despite the fact that minus those 2 players, I probably have a much superior team. But I just felt like I was at a disadvantage because I had a silver and bronze player. It made me loosen up a little bit. I was trying to score with Wilmot so many times, he wouldn't do it for me. But I was loosening up because I felt, well, there's no pressure. If I concede, then I concede. In fact, I was annoyed actually at this point. I was going to say, in fact, I did concede. I conceded twice. This guy was not the best, and somehow he scored twice. Bad defending probably more than anything else, but it is what it is. People saying Hamsik got that card. Hamsik got that card because he was going to China, but 15 minutes after this card was released, Napoli tweeted saying that talk had broken down and that he's not going anymore. Hamsik got the card as he was transferred and broke loads of records for Napoli. Yeah, but he didn't transfer. I know. I read that that he was moving, and that the move broke down in and around the time that the card had been released, and there was a conspiracy theory saying that EA had paid Napoli off because they released that card, which I think is an absolute load of nonsense, because how much money realistically would Napoli have wanted for from EA to say, yeah, okay, we'll cut the transfer off just so you can keep a virtual card in a video game that they could easily have just taken down and changed straight away, or just changed the club. So I think that's a load of nonsense, but I'm still none the wiser as to know why he's got that card. Elliot Pole says that pack costs £20, just so everyone knows. If he'd have bought that, that's 20 quid, maybe 25 worth of players. Is an absolute joke. I genuinely, didn't expect to walk out from it, but at no point in my life would I have ever said, yeah, I wouldn't even get boards. No boards in a 125k pack. Do you know there's less than 1% chance of getting no boards in a 125k pack? Wait for them to be available again in the store and click the pack probability. Okay, it may have changed between now and then, but when they were last in store, I checked, and it said less than 1% chance, 1% chance again, an 82 or whatever it is. So it's like there's literally a 1% chance of that happening, and it happened. I've basically gone the opposite way. There's a 1% chance of packing Ronaldo. I've gone completely the other way and got myself a non-board. I was so annoyed by that. I laughed it off, but I was genuinely pissed off with it. Calvert-Lewin with another goal. I like it. That ultimate pack was unreal. Didn't even know that was possible. Yeah, exactly. Neither did I. By the way, the Hamsik SBC was because EA thought he was leaving the club. Oh, right, okay. So it was like an end of an era style card. But the transfer was cancelled, so ultimately there was no purpose for the card. I understand now. So, yeah, people above you were wording it as if the reason he got it was because he transferred. But of course he didn't transfer. But that makes sense. I understand that now. So yeah, no, thanks for that. Thanks for pointing that out. That actually does make sense. Hopefully we can get a couple more though. I can't imagine who else would get one, but hopefully we can get a couple more of those style of cards. We got that flashback Torres, of course, which we're going to have to go and talk about in a second. Absolute disgrace that you can't even get a board in an ultimate pack. That pack luck was awful. I think next FIFA there's going to be a big change because of this old Belgium FIFA point thing. There has to be a change. But what I honestly feel like they should do is give guarantees with certain packs above certain value. So for instance, a 100k pack you are guaranteed an 85 rated player. With an ultimate pack you are guaranteed an 86 or an 87 rated player. I think that has to be a thing because at least you know you're going to get something. At least, well, I know I'm going to get an 87 guaranteed or an 86 or whatever it is. So I suppose in that sense as well, it's a less of a gamble. So people are at least knowing roughly what they're getting. I think that needs to happen going forward. And speaking of going forward, Jari Litmanen is on his way, hopefully, at some point. Yet to sell, even though he's one of the cheapest icons on the market right now. Not cheapest Litmanen, the cheapest icon. The cheapest icon is actually 545,000. So he's 10k above the minimum, and he's a prime icon. The reason I want to get rid of him is because I want that Fernando Torres card badly. And the way that I see it is, Jari Litmanen is my favourite player of all time. I've got a brand new phone, and I went and bought a brand new case with Jari Litmanen on the back of it. Look at that. Look at the quality of that, right? I did it with my old phone as well, but I was just obsessed with the guy, right? But the way that I've planned this out is, if I can sell him for 550 there or thereabouts, 550, 560, whatever, if I can take about 520 away from it after tax, I can then go into the SBCs and I can finish Fernando Torres, because all I need to do to complete the one... all I need to complete the one section of Fernando Torres is one player, and that is Kingsley Coman. I've went and spent all the coins that we had in the club to build this, and I spent about 10-15k on player pick packs, which you would have seen already, of course. And then I did this. So I need to get Coman to finish that off. I don't have enough at the moment to even buy Coman, but then we get a prime gold players pack for that, which isn't the best, but better than nothing. And then I need to complete You'll Never Walk Alone, which is basically what I've done there. Now it says chemistry needed is 80. I've got 77. If I convert David Silva to a striker, that'll give me the chem, or even just to a centre forward, that'll give me the chem. So I'm not bothered by that at all. That is going to cost me about 160, 170,000 coins. That'll leave me with about 300k, there or thereabouts. A bit more, but roughly 300k. That, in turn, will allow me to complete Nakata, which I had almost but completed. In fact, I was going to submit this today, because I could have afforded, before I went and built the rest of it, I had enough money to be able to afford to do this. And I was going to complete this, but what I'll do instead is, I think basically all of those players I've got in there are going to go. So I'll flesh it out and I'll buy it. It'll probably cost me about 100k, and that'll be gone. I'll be left with 200,000. I'll have flashback Fernando Torres. I'll have prime icon Nakata, and I'll have surplus coins left, which is something that I've been without for quite a while now. So that's something, and if they release something else, we'll be able to afford to do that as well if we really want to. So there we go. That's the Fernando Torres card, by the way. As you're watching this, I've probably already built it, reviewed it, and love it. I don't know, but it just looks phenomenal. Without a chem style as well, it looks great. The balance concerns me at 58, but everything else about that card is just ridiculous. I really like that. I'm thinking maybe a sniper to improve the composure to 85, boost the balance above 60. Not that it'll make a difference, but you know, we can hope. But I think I want that, and I don't know what that means for the team. I think what I may end up doing is dropping Ibra. This was the team I was reviewing Joshua King in, and of course Cesc Fabregas. The free-to-play is our main squad. So yeah, this has changed considerably. But I think what I'll do is... Wait, who do we have in there? Who do we have in the central... Who do we have there? Fabinho, of course. But Fabinho's not there anymore because I'm currently using him for an SBC. But let's just get him in there just for argument's sake. That's what it'll look like. I think what I'll end up doing is dropping Ibra to the bench for the time being. Getting Fernando Torres in there. Like that. And I think that's the way that I'll probably end up playing. I think I'm going to switch to a 4-2-2. So I'll have Ronaldo and Fernando Torres up front, which just sounds ridiculous. And then, of course, we'll have Rivaldo and Best on the wings, and Fabinho and Steven Gerrard as the CDMs. Torres is definitely on his way. No one can talk me out of it. That guy is going to be my new main striker, and Ibra is going to go back to coming on as a sub. So at least I'm not like one of those Ibra nonces. He's played 100 games for me. That's mad. At least I'm not an Ibra nonce where, you know, everyone's trying to launch the ball to Ibra, which I have been for the best part of 2 or 3 weeks. But anyway, that's the way the team is going to look going into the weekend league, hopefully, if Jari Litmanen never sells. And hopefully Fernando Torres can be my new favourite player in FIFA 19. Who knows? If you have enjoyed the episode, do me a favour and smack that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.